Hi, you're watching Sports 6. My name is Vineet Malhotra and lots to talk about today. But that big news that we will be discussing on the show is going to be Sourav Ganguly as the president of the BCCI. And to talk about that, I have with me in the studio senior sports journalist Harpal Singh Bedi. I'll come to you first, but the stage is set for former India captain Sourav Ganguly to be the next president of the Indian Cricket Board, with elections unlikely to be held at BCCI's annual general meeting on the 23rd of October. In a unanimous stand against the Supreme Court appointed Committee of Administrators functioning, all members of the BCCI came together in an informal setting at a five-star hotel in Mumbai on Sunday, signalling their emphatic return to the corridors of Indian cricket administration. It was agreed that Ganguly would become the next BCCI president, while Karnataka's Brijesh Patel, earlier expected to be the president himself, would take over as the chairman of the IPL Governing Council. Jai Shah from Gujarat and son of Union Minister Amit Shah is likely to be secretary, while Arun Singh Thakur from Himachal Pradesh is likely to become treasurer. Listen in to this exclusive conversation with Sourav Ganguly.
There are all smiles after your selection that is there. Taking from Mamta Di to everyone is congratulating you. How do you look at this? It's a very bigger responsibility.
Yes, it's a big responsibility and hopefully I can do it. We'll do it, so don't worry.
The difference between the two captaincies that is there, you know, this captaincy and the captaincy on...
It's different, it's different. Playing
How challenging it is?
Both have different challenges and hopefully I overcame one, I can overcome the other.
Jagmohan Dalmia, he has been one of the bestest administrator, and now it's you who is like, do you feel that you will somewhere fit in the shoes of Jagmohan Dalmia?
I've never thought it that way, you know, he was a legend in administration and this is my first tenure as president, so hopefully I can make a difference.
So the former captain of the Indian team, Sourav Ganguly, an aggressive captain and an even aggressive player, is now going to be at the helm of affairs of the BCCI. Mr. Bedi, first of all, your thoughts on Sourav's election, unopposed, unanimous decision to have him as the president.
That you should have said your opinion about his election. Or you edit unopposed and all that when somebody is putting you behind. So you better be unopposed. That is it. And second myth that he is going there for 10 months, he is not going to be there for 10 months.
So you're saying in a way he's interim?
No, he is going to be full term. Now why you say, after all, if they have not agreed to the Supreme Court,
right,
as you write your story says, that not worried about what Supreme Court said, he is being made. I don't know why your story says, but if that is true, then why should they bother about 10 months? That is also part of the sports code, and sports code has nothing to do with, now sports code has also been buried. So I think he is there for a long term. No, he is not going to be there for 10 months. Why should he be there?
Sure.
In any case, he was president. No, if he wants to be known as ex-president, I don't think he has that charm for this ex. He is going to be there with secretary, Jai Shah. Jai Shah is not going to leave after 10 months. If he is not going to leave after 10 months, Ganguly is also not going to leave after 10 months. And I told you there are no free lunches. So he has been made. Therefore, yesterday
when you say there are no free lunches, do you mean there's a catch to all of this?
No, he has a political backing. He has not come here just because he's an aggressive cricketer and this and that. That is besides the point. That adds to his CV. That adds to his CV. But without political backing, he would not even there. If you come if you are going to contest election against Srinivasan's men, and who was tipped to be the president, and won, and within 24 hours, the whole scenario has changed. It is good news. One thing, Vineet, is there. We can talk about how he has become and why he should not, whatever. But at this, for the first time, this BCCI will have 5 or 6 very prominent cricketers in it, like Gaikwad, as Anshuman Gaikwad, as a players representative there. Brijesh Patel, IPL president.
Correct.
2 very big names. Sundar Khanna, players represented in IPL. Shantaranga Swami, the girls. So all these 4 plus Sourav Ganguly, 5, they are big names.
Right. In fact, we are also joined by former India cricketer Deep Das Gupta on the broadcast. Deep, in fact, Sourav is going to be the new BCCI president. You have worked with Sourav Ganguly closely. In fact, you both represent the same state. He's done a lot of work for the CAB as well. And he definitely has the experience and the wherewithal. And like Mr. Bedi said, the backing, to helm affairs at the BCCI. Your thoughts?
absolutely. I think he's done a fantastic job as initially the secretary of CAB, then the president of CAB. And obviously he has that ability. I mean, one of his major strengths as the captain of the Indian team as well was how well he managed everyone. I mean, his man management skills is spot on, is as good as anyone that you'll ever see. So yeah, and also my experience with him and knowing whatever little I know of him, I think he'll be a very, very good administrator, and whatever little we've seen of him as an administrator with the Cricket Association of Bengal, he's been brilliant doing that.
Absolutely. Deep, what do you think is going to change after Sourav Ganguly's election as the president of the BCCI? You know, we heard what he said. He said that first-class cricket is something that's going to be a priority for him. But we all know that the BCCI is in a desperate need of an image makeover as well. You know, the image in the last few years has been tarnished owing to a lot of controversies and irregularities and improprieties. So Sourav Ganguly's task, though cut out, is also extremely challenging.
It will be challenging, especially the fact that there's a new constitution in place. Obviously there are very many new rules and regulations which needs to be followed. There are procedures which needs to be followed now according to the new constitution. So yeah, I mean, obviously it's going to be a very, very challenging road ahead for all the new office bearers, to be honest, not just him, not just Sourav. But yeah, I mean, listen, there are really good people out there, and obviously, as far as the system is concerned, I think we kind of at times, over abuse the system. But mind you, because of the system, the cricketing system is such robust in our country that irrespective of what happens off the field, you still are producing quality cricketers generation after generation. So yes, while I'll say that it was never perfect, but it was very, very well done. That's the reason you still have a system, irrespective of what happens. So yes, there are naysayers. There have always been naysayers, but I think BCCI has always been one of the best run associations or groups that you have in the country.
Right. And Mr. Bedi, Sourav, in fact, in that chat went on to say that there are a lot of wrongs to be righted when he takes on as the president of the BCCI. What was he talking about?
I'll tell you, one thing what I agree with Das Gupta is, and this is no rocket science or a secret, that this is a very robust organization. Even 3 years when it was in this sort of vacuum, the cricket was not affected that way. It kept on, you had a World Cup, you had T20.
Business was as usual.
No, business as usual. And you earn more money. So as far as cricket part is concerned, this is a setup which has not been so much dented. That is so far. Although all the other institutions there, but this is not there. When he says about cricketers, he is talking about those other cricketers who have been ignored. See, what we have seen here is that largesse is being distributed among some few cricketers. Suppose somebody hits 6 sixes, you give him BMW, somebody hits 4 fours. But here he is talking about the first class cricketer with whom he has played, and other people have also played, but he is a cricket to the core because he has helped. But his CV says, and where he is a very on firm wicket, is that he has supported and backed the cricketers to the hilt, whom he thinks they were talented. Now, he being a Cricket Association, Bengal Cricket Association president, he knew what is how the players are suffering. Those who are playing Ranji Trophy or World Club, but they are not given their due. So I think now, because he is going to be there for a long time, he is not going to be there for 10 because he is going to at least be there till the elections are taken place in West Bengal. That is assured. So, if for next 2.5 years, when he is at the helm of affairs, he is a very aggressive man, and he doesn't take dictation. This one thing that some people may have supported him, but they cannot control him.
He's his own man.
Yeah. That is there. He has led India with dignity. There one thing. He had his what he did in Lords. Whatever people may say, he thought it was done, it is done. Right. So he has been a very aggressive captain, a captain of the cricketer, players captain. Two things, not because he has just become and we are praising him. He may be having his own failings. That is a human nature. But he being a cricketer captain, a leader, he is going to give new direction to the cricket board. As far as other structures are concerned, I don't think can change the structure. What the politics is going on, it cannot be changed.
Absolutely. In fact, Deep, picking on what Mr. Bedi said, that Sourav Ganguly was an aggressive captain. He did bring about a paradigm shift in the way cricketers approached the game of cricket. Do you think this knack that he has of being aggressive and getting things done is perhaps what the BCCI needs most at this time?
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know how long is the term going to be because obviously I'm not aware. Some say 10 months, some say it's going to be a year, but we'll see. But I think that should be good enough time for someone like him to set the ball rolling. So to say, I think, and what you mentioned about first-class cricket being priority, yes, because international cricket is nothing much to do. International cricket will happen the way it has been happening. It's a first-class cricketers. I mean, there are a lot of players who have not been paid for last 3-4 years because of obviously there hasn't been agents, there hasn't been the financial reports being filed. So a lot of players have not got money for last 3-4 years. A substantial part of what is due to them. So a lot of that will need to happen. Will be the priority. And yes, first-class cricketers needs to be priority because everything else is looked after. I mean, you do a show every day. I mean, predominantly we talk about international cricket. So international cricket is under focus and under the spotlight all the time. So it is not the international cricket or cricketers that needs most of the time as far as BCCI or the administration is concerned. It's the first-class cricket, the underage cricket that needs hand-holding and maybe a little more time and patience.
Absolutely. We're also
I think
joined.
one thing.
Right.
He will be a very influential man in ICC. Remember, he will be one of the rare captains to be there, leading. See, one thing, he has credentials to back up. He was a captain for a long time. And second, I was talking to Bishan Bedi once. He said 2 cricketers, that time long back. He said 2 captains gave India a new life. One was Nawab Pataudi. He raised your esteem, and whether there was Sourav Ganguly. This is Bishan Bedi saying that he said, it's okay, you can play at the level of other people. Don't get carried away because they are the Englishman or white man. So he has raised the profile of cricket in the sense that he gave you self-esteem. Other players did it. Not that suddenly he's become president, he's going to be president, so all praise should be heaped on him. But 2 captains, Pataudi and Sourav Ganguly, who they raised, okay, you are cricketers and you can fight against the foreign players also. Don't get overawed by them.
Absolutely. We are also joined by former India cricketer Ratinder Singh Sodhi. Ratinder, thank you so much for joining us. What do you make of Sourav Ganguly being elected as the president of the BCCI? We have all seen his cricket. We are all familiar with his records, and we all are familiar with his formidable reputation as well, with somebody who likes to get the job done. Do you think that the Indian cricket team could, in fact, we are already in a very good position. Do you think the Indian team could even go further? The board and its management could even rise up, after Sourav Ganguly's elevation or his election as the president?
Yeah, Vineet, there are 2 news to be celebrated today. One is your birthday, so very happy birthday. May God bless you with lots of happiness. And one is the news that Sourav Ganguly will be the president of BCCI. And this is huge. This is big. Somebody who has captained Team India for years and years and brought so many laurels. I still remember a knock he played in South Africa against Nanti Hayward and Makaya Nitini. He blasted them for 6s, and I was serving drinks, was 12th man there. I was watching that game live. So it was honor to actually watch those huge 6s. So I'm sure in this term, whatever, of 10 months, 9 months, I think Sourav Ganguly will be hitting lots of 6s, and that will be for the good of Indian cricket. And the statement which he has come with, that priority will be first-class cricket, I think that is massive. And that is where a cricketer knows that what actually has to be done with the first-class cricketers. International cricketers already getting all the accolades, but it is first-class cricket which has to be settled. I'm sure with this news, first-class cricketers will be very, very happy.
Absolutely. And Deep, Sourav Ganguly did not mince his words. He said that first-class cricket is something which needs a lot of looking into. What do you think is wrong with our first-class cricket? What needs to be? What needs to change?
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong, Vineet. You've got to understand there's nothing wrong as such, but there's a potential of things being wrong because you've got to understand this. 2 months or 60 days of IPL gives you 4 times a time, at times 5-6 times of what you will earn over 6 months of 4-day cricket and the rigors of domestic circuit. So obviously there's a potential there. You've got to nip it at the bud. There are talks. I mean, obviously there are players who wants to go out and start playing overseas T20 tournaments. So you got to be a little careful here. There is a paradigm shift that might happen or is in the process of happening. And one thing I know, I mean, Sourav as a captain was brilliant, as a player was brilliant. We've just got to be a little careful here, right? This is a different ball game. Administration is a different ball game. So it's not going to be like, as if he's going to pad it up and go back against whoever it is. So it's got to be a little, easy on things. Let's not get our hopes very high because there are other strings attached. Mr. Bedi was talking about ICC and all that. I mean, listen, it'll take its own time, but the most important job, I believe, for the current dispensation or the new dispensation which is coming in is to get the house in order, because this will be a new office bearers after 3 years time. So they will need time to get things done. So there's a lot of patience which is required right now. Let's not expect the stars and the moon right now.
All right, let's not expect the stars and the moons right now. Ricky, you wanted to make a point. Go ahead.
No, I'm expecting lots of things. Maybe I differ with Deep here because somebody of stature of Sourav Ganguly, and he will be now taking the decision at the helm. And one very important fact, Vinit, I would just like to mention here is that there's a scheme, one-time payment scheme to the cricketers. Test cricketers have got it. Somebody who has played more than 75 first-class matches, they have got their share. But the people who have played between 25 to 75 first-class matches, they are waiting for their share from last 4 to 5 years now. And I'm sure now a big decision will be coming very soon, and this will be boon for the cricketers who played in 80s, 70s and gave their lives, sacrifice so much to play for their states. I think they are again will be a very happy lot.
Right, Mr. Bedi, in fact, Sourav Ganguly at many times is considered to be a protege of Jagmohan Dalmia, who himself was considered to be a very able administrator. And he's learned the ropes from him as well.
See, at the moment, what an advantage with Sourav is that he has come on his own terms, supported by some people, but he is not just a dummy. He was bought in. If he was going to take on Brajesh Patel, who is a nominee of Srinivasan, there was something in him, and some people who backed him. There are two ways of looking at it. First of all, the election in West Bengal. He is their candidate, and he is going to be there till the elections happen. So he has to give. And when he is going to help the first-class cricketer, he is not going to do it from his pocket, because it is so rich association, they can do it. But Reet has said, what Deep said, is a fact. If you are going to give him 10,000 rupees each player added, nothing will happen. You will not lose any revenue. There is so much of money. How to distribute that money he will do it. It is not a moon. Certainly, only thing which I know, which I think I will like Deep's reaction. What will happen to Ravi Shastri? Although he is there. See, remember, this is there. No, I think don't dismiss it, because remember, players are egoistic. Sure. Remember this thing. Once by mistake or by just genuinely, Virender Sehwag said, I can also lead. See what happened to him. Dhoni sent him very packing. Gautam Gambhir, somebody asked him that you have won, helped Calcutta Knight Rider to win. Can you lead India? By mistake, he said yes. See what happened to him. So these people, after you are a human being, you are not God suddenly.
Sure.
Remember this, human being is human being.
Correct.
Unless you are a computer or robo. And our friend Sourav Ganguly does not forget people. Remember this thing. And if he is there, and he knows he is there on his strength, remember this thing. He may not remember what is his strength vis-a-vis the players. He may not interfere in much how is BCCI being run, who is manager or who is not. That is different. But when it comes to player, when it comes to team, you would have his stamp. Make no mistake about that.
Absolutely.
And that is my point of view.
That's a very important point to make. And Deep, the job of the BCCI president or any administrative job in the BCCI is fraught with dangers. Now we all know, how it panned out for Srinivasan. We also know how it panned out for former IPL Commissioner Lalit Modi as well. So Sourav Ganguly has to, in fact, tread on very thin ice, especially when the BCCI is trying to regroup itself and, sort of re-establish their image.
That's true, but also we've got to realize that I don't know whether all of us here have read the new constitution or not. But the new constitution, there are a lot of checks and balances in place. That's the part of the new constitution that has been brought in by the Lodha committee, the recommendations. which also puts a lot of onus on a CFO, there's a CEO. So it's not just about the president and the secretary and the treasurer anymore, which it used to be. This new constitution that the BCCI has now, there are other paid employees who would do the day-to-day working of the BCCI. So predominantly the office bearers will be policy makers here. So I think there is a lot of checks and balances now in place. I think it would be comparatively easier for everyone, I believe, to work. Like I said, because there are enough checks and balances. And as far as just a quick word on what Mr. Bedi mentioned about Ravi, I don't really think that will be an issue. I mean, if that's the case, then what Mr. Bedi is saying that Sourav is vindictive or something, which I don't think he is.
I said he's a human being. I've never said that he. No, yeah. He may change. This is my view. I'm not saying that. Please don't put words in my mouth. He must have please, let's be very clear. He's a human being.
Here is, I don't think so, because there are professionals now. Sourav is a very professional person himself. So is Ravi. Ravi's got a contract until the T20 World Cup. Obviously, his performance will speak for itself. So I don't think we should get into these issues now, because this is nothing but speculation. This just leads to rumors, and I don't know. I mean, this.
How it functions, BCCI, is whether this match should be allocated to Ranchi or Calcutta or to either Delhi. That is a different thing. It is not Sourav Ganguly's job. Which match should be allotted where? Which tournament is to be played where? No, that is not. I'm talking team. He's a player. He will He will interfere because a player. That's it. It is not, see, BCCI, as he rightly said, there are checks and balances. That is obviously rotation policy, where match has to go, where match doesn't have to go, who should be the selector or not. That is different. That is not he's going to say who is going to be the peon of this, who is going to be the clerk. He's not going to take it. But what about as a player? He will definitely intervene and interfere. That is it. Also, he has suffered. See, when the big boss was not there, up there, he was removed very unceremoniously. You should not forget these things. And these things, you carried it if you are a human being.
Absolutely. And all right, Deep wants to come in, and then we'll go to Ricky. Go ahead, Deep.
Not like him to interfere, because yes, it is Sourav Ganguly, but he's sitting on a chair of the president. What you're suggesting is the president of BCCI interfering. Forget who is sitting on it. Yes, it is Sourav Ganguly, one of the best captains that India has produced, one of the best cricketers that India has produced. So the chair should not interfere in the cricket. There's a selectors, I think the convener is the secretary. So once the president, I mean, again, this is the chair we are not talking about individuals here. So we've got to be a little careful here. If you start appreciating, or if you start backing the president interfering in every team, then it's a bad precedent.
Right. In fact, Ricky, how beneficial is it going to be for the team that you have a cricketer, a seasoned cricketer, a successful captain, a formidable batsman sitting at the helm of affairs of the BCCI? You've had cricketers in the past who have been interim presidents of the BCCI, but I think Sourav Ganguly, as far as my knowledge goes, as far as my recollection goes, will be the longest serving cricketer to become the president of the BCCI. How beneficial is this going to be for the game of cricket?
Yeah, Vineet, very rightly put in. Longest serving cricketer as president of BCCI. So this sums it all. And this has never been the case earlier. So first time this will be a history that somebody who is captain India and got so much of laurels will be the president of BCCI. And he knows the pulse of cricket, domestic cricket, junior cricket, because he has been through that grinding. So that is where I think Sourav Ganguly will be scoring massive points, brownie points, because the decisions he will take. I agree with Deep that he won't be interfering in the things where he need not. But at the same time, his advices will be very beneficial for the betterment of Indian cricket. I agree with Mr. Bedi too that whatever happened regarding the coaches matter, that will be in Sourav Ganguly's mind, and that can't erase, because that really left a sour taste all over. But at the same time, on the chair of the president, these things have to take the back seat, and Sourav Ganguly will be doing which will be the best for Indian cricket.
Right. I think I should audit my English. He will advise, right? What Sodhi said is right, not interfere. And I agree with Deep Interference is a very harsh word. He will not interfere, but he will advise because he is a cricketer. ये होता है. This happens because even if you are sitting in your room, separately because you are president, you cannot keep quiet when you say that cricketer something wrong is done to cricketer. So he will advise, he will not interfere. I agree with Deep, and I'm sorry using the word interfere.
No, but how beneficial is it going to be for?
No, it is huge. Remember one thing: the
you
first
finally
time
have a cricketer.
you
who knows
have
the
not
in and
only
out.
one cricketer, you have 6 cricketers there, and those who have played a very high level cricket. If you have an IPL chairman, Brijesh Patel, very high level cricketer.
Correct.
Opener
for India.
A lot of people say that he was very scared of fast bowling. That is a different thing. That whether he did, that is not our business here. But the question is, he did play. He represented India high level. Then you have Anshuman Gaikwad, players representative in BCCI. Then you have Sundar Khanna, players representative in IPL. Then you have that lady Shanta Ramanga for unopposed. She is also a player of very high caliber. So you have 5-6 players in a very dominating position. See, remember these 5-6 players will be interested in welfare of the cricket, not discussing where the match. See, BCCI, you have mistaken. BCCI, as Deep said, and we should not have debated that, it is a very robust organization and it can work on its own. That there be no president, but it still move, and it has proved in last 3-4 years that you don't need any. Basically, come to think of, you don't need any president. You need one CEO and it will run. It is so effective. But as far as players are concerned, that is where the role of these players will come. How they will look after that.
All right, Ricky, we only have about 30 seconds left on the program. Go ahead, make your point.
Yeah, Mr. Bedi has taken lots of names, lots of cricketers who will be playing a very important role in the decision-making policy. Ganguly is Brijesh Patel, Mr. Gaikwad is there, so some big names. But at the same time, another big name which we should not forget, a man of integrity, Sabah Kareem, who is GM BCCI. So I'm sure this team is going to do wonders.
Right, absolutely. So the Indian management now is replete with cricketers who have in fact made a name for themselves when playing cricket. Now it's about time for somebody like Sourav Ganguly, who's in fact done a lot of good work for the CAB.
I think best
use
thing
that
to happen.
same experience in the BCCI as well. Deepdas Gupta, Rutinder Singh Sodhi, Harpal Singh Bedi, sir, thank you so much for being a part of this show. That's all we have. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.